Shootout Pool, sponsored by mycaring.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MK Sports Bar. We are live this afternoon in Milton Keynes. And as you can see, we're progressing nicely through the draw with a victory for Seb Webb just now, and we move swiftly on to match number 4, featuring one of the most exciting players in the world who's enjoyed great success already at these Taom Shootouts events. Will you welcome, please, the Welsh Wizard, Jordan Shepherd. And his opponent, who thankfully we have tracked down and brought him onto the table, having missed his slot in the last match. It's the bad stack himself. It's Martin McIntosh.
When Jason's at the table, I kept on seeing him look at me while he's with another girl. Do you think he was just doing that to make me jealous? Because he was totally texting me all night last night, and I don't know if it's a booty call or not. So, like, what do you think? Did you think that girl was pretty? How did that girl even get in here? Do you see her? She's so short, and that dress is so tacky. Who wears Cheeto? It's not even summer. Why is the DJ keep on playing Summertime Sadness? After you're in the bathroom, can we go smoke a cigarette? I really need one. But first, let me take a selfie.
Martin McIntosh has made his way to the arena. He comes out without his cue, but with a camera and some sunglasses. I'm not sure Jordan Shepherd was overly thrilled with that, because he just wants to get this game underway, but you can see that Martin really wants to enjoy himself out in the arena. He is up against one of the very best players in the world in Jordan Shepherd, and a player that suits this format to the absolute T. He flies around the table in normal circumstances, in normal tournaments. In this event, 30 seconds, he's absolutely at home and comfortable. And that is why he won the first 3 events and made the final of the 4th event. Incredibly entertaining player, and he's looking keen and anxious to get his tournament underway today. And it is Jordan Shepherd to break first, who wins the lag. An excellent opening break, but not the best split. And catches the break really nicely, gets the balls flying all over the table, but the balls all come together at the bottom of the table, and there is also a cluster at the top, so really not the chance that Jordan wanted. He wanted a nice big open split and get his tournament underway. Instead, it's take yellows and probably look to play some sort of developing safety shot. Jordan is under pressure perhaps more than ever, because he's playing. Well, he's always a big favourite for these shootout events anyway. He's always a big favourite for any event he plays in, but playing against Martin, he'll have extra pressure on himself, because he knows that he'll in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I really should be beating Martin. And that sometimes can put extra pressure on yourself, so he almost looks a little bit more on edge than he normally does at the start of a tournament. And that's why he won't be happy that this first frame is going to a tactical battle. He wants a nice big open match. He knows if the match is open that it's going to favour his game more than Martin. Martin's much happier to be playing these tactical frames, because it balances out the match somewhat. Well, George, have you ever seen a walk-on quite like that before?
I've seen a lot of walk-ons in my time. That was a good one. Great atmosphere in there as well.
maybe that solves the question of why he wasn't available for his match time. Perhaps he was at the shops buying the sunglasses. Well, Seb finally, Seb, still thinking about the previous match. Jordan finally gets an opportunity. He's going to play this yellow off the red, and it should open up the other yellow. It's been a touch fortunate, but it's come out nicely for him.
Yes, if at times you think there are some raucous cheers and jeers out of keeping with what might be happening on the table, there is another telly in the bar showing horse racing, and a lot of the fans have clearly had a couple of bets. So they're switching their attention between the two. Taken those very nicely indeed.
Martin McIntosh has missed the trick a little bit in that frame. When it became tactical, although he's not a player that wants to play tactical pool, he's not going to go dish for dish for Jordan Shepherd, so he should have really tried to drag that frame out and make the most of it. And actually he opened the frame up a little bit for Jordan, and then Jordan grabbed that opportunity and ran with it. And you're in a position where you're playing against one of the best players in the world, a player that suits this format, and you're already 1-0 behind.
Oh, wow.
And the black flies in, so we'll do it all again.
It looked like it thought about going in, stayed out, and then went in anyway.
And all that does is frustrate the player that's made the black, especially because he's 1-0 behind. He doesn't really want to, it's still early in the match, but he doesn't want to waste the extra 30 seconds it's going to take to get these balls racked up.
Let's see if you can do that again. More conventional split this time, but nothing doing.
And comes up dry. And an opportunity for Jordan. It's a very clever opening shot.
Been dominant, hasn't he, in this shootout series?
Yeah, he really has. Winning the first 3 events and making the final of the 4th. Everyone knew going into it that it was a format that was going to suit him, but it's one thing to sort of have a format that suits you, it's another thing to win 3 consecutive tournaments in such a volatile format.
He's managed to keep the yellow out here. Got a little flick off the red. Wouldn't have expected that to not to disappear.
It's an excellent try from Martin, but he was trying to develop the red on the left-hand side, and to spin round behind it is going to be really frustrating for him. He wouldn't have minded even if he had caught the yellow rather than the red and potted the yellow as a skill shot. And that's just made his problems worse, nudging that yellow on top of the red. He's created another problem for himself, and this visit's just going to get harder and harder for him. Well, this time he does pot the yellow, but unfortunately he didn't pot the red, which he needed to make it a legal shot.
Very unhappy with himself there, Martin. Well,
Answers on a postcard, Sheppy. That was a very loose shot.
whatever he was envisaging there, I don't think it's what you can see on the table now.
Well, he had to develop the red. He had to just nudge the red out of the way of the yellow to open up the frame for the clearance, and chose to do it as a plant, and it was a very strange way about going about it, and it's gone completely wrong.
Very unhappy with himself.
He's done well to get into the red and yellow, but he's not landed on anything, and actually this is a bit of a disaster for him because the red actually now goes, and the only yellow he can play is the one he's next to, and if he plays it, he'll be nudging the yellow away from that red. So tricky little situation for him.
This suddenly could be a bit of a messy frame. That was the loose start.
He had the opportunity with cue ball in hand to play the yellow and the red that are together without having to play yellow into it. He could have just picked the white up, put it anywhere in the top half of the table, top section of the table, and developed it in another way. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do, but he definitely went wrong.
It's a miss-a-thon at the moment.
An aggressive choice of shot from Jordan. He could have played a pretty easy and controlling snooker, which would have maybe given himself a better opportunity to win the frame, because even if that yellow goes in, he's not on the next yellow. Just feathers past the yellow to give himself a shot at this red.
This is difficult when you're so close, as you can see, playing left-handed. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's probably what he played. And he wanted it to drop, of course he did, but he played it in such a way that if it was going to drop, it was off the near jaw and off, and really dying in the pocket. He knows if he misses it, he's in complete control of the frame. Jordan wanted to cover the pocket for the black. He hasn't done that, and he has left a double for Martin. And it's a bad miss, and it's a bad miss for two reasons, because of where the red's gone to as well. You needed that red to stay. If you are going to miss it, make sure that red stays in the middle of the table to make your next chance an easier opportunity. Because Jordan isn't going to clear up from where he's been left.
No, nor is he going to try at this stage.
Now Jordan has a free shot to get this yellow out because he knows the black doesn't go anywhere, so he's able to develop his yellow without doing any damage to the table.
Stop there, he says.
Again, a bit like his previous shot where he was trying to develop things, not his best shot. That's excellent.
What a shot that is. Wow. To safely remove the black from the position it was in. Brilliant shot.
As good as the last shot was, that was poor. Acres of room to land that white in to be easy on the black, and he's left it about as tricky as it could be.
Well, he's done the hard bit and then clocked off. Still a shot. But it was tricky. He had to force it. He's missed it.
Playing against one of the best players in the world, you cannot afford to give away opportunities like that. He did all the hard work.
Just a complete lack of concentration.
Not the perfect cannon for Jordan, and he's still on this yellow.
Played that very nicely. Nice bounce off the jaw too. It's for 2-0.
I'm not sure Jordan Shepherd will quite believe that he's 2-0 ahead, having played the two frames that he's played. He really hasn't been at the races so far, and he's 2-0 in front.
Well, that was where it got away. Didn't really have to do a lot with it. Left himself very difficult black back into that blind pocket. And The end result is 2-0 Jordan Shepherd.
Yeah, and now he has a great opportunity to make it 3-0. Making quite a few mistakes in that last frame, and now he's been handed a beautiful opportunity off a great break. Doesn't have to develop anything. All the yellows have a pocket. And so normally for Jordan in these situations, he makes very light work of these clearances.
So Martin McIntosh, having missed his slot to play in the previous game, maybe starting to think, I wish I'd have stayed wherever I was, because it's quite painful for him out there at the moment. And it's about to get worse. Easy as you like from the Welsh wizard. Who is starting to go through the gears. Shepherd 3, McIntosh 0.
And that is what Jordan Shepherd is all about. Lovely break, and clears them up inside about 45 seconds. You could just see it after the break. He knew exactly what he was doing, and the way the table was laid out, you just can't see, or I couldn't see how he was going to make a mistake. He looks a different player than the player he did in the first frame. He looked a bit edgy and under it, maybe because he is the favourite for the tournament.
Oh, there was a degree of anger and frustration in that break-off.
Lost control of the white straight away. The key with a break, you need to hit it as powerfully as possible without losing control of the white. And he lost control of the white, flying straight into the centre pocket.
And all of a sudden this looks like it could be over very, very quickly.
And that's what can happen with Jordan. When you've got him under a bit of pressure, when you've got him making mistakes, it's so important to make sure that you capitalise on it. If you start giving him free frames like he did in frame 2, and he actually, in a weird way, he made it a little bit easier than he needed to for him in frame 1 as well, you really are, you are asking for trouble.
And just like that, in the blink of an eye, 3-0 becomes 4-0. And we're not even halfway through the match.
Frame 3 was probably 45 seconds to a minute, and that was probably about 45 seconds absolute maximum.
He's got aerial. And yes, he gets a drop.
And if he can find an opening shot, then this is a great chance.
I think there's a couple of options. That was one of them. The yellow you can see to right corner was the other, but that couldn't have worked much better, could it?
No, just the one red to work out. The other red he's got here, but the next one in the bottom half of the table.
No. Well, he was back at the bar already then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just trying to develop the one red on the table that didn't go anywhere, and he played that with extreme left-hand side, and you can see the white checking up when it hits the bottom cushion, and that's what forced the miss.
Here's the trick shot. Yes, forced it. You can see on the cue ball the spin he applied. That lost the accuracy and control.
Well, for a man that's 4-0 down, that was an excellent opening shot for Martin. Played the skill shot to open up the pocket, and there's one good pot down the rail from getting a frame on the board.
Oh, wiped its feet. And a miss. And a shrug. And the writing is on the wall. Really poor miss, that. Quickest contest of the afternoon in Milton Keynes. Certainly the quickest double of the afternoon. And absolutely flew in. Deep on the cushion, no rule, and that's the equivalent of the white flag, I think, from Martin McIntosh. Well, the black's been missed, so maybe we're not just done yet.
And that was the shot of a man that's. I actually thought Martin was conceding, and I wonder whether Jordan was thinking the same.
It was a concession. No, he has now. It's a concession disguised as a high five, wasn't it? In the end, but it is another whitewash, and utterly dominant in the end from Jordan Shepherd, the Welsh wizard, who won the first 3 events of this shootout series, has had the perfect start in this latest one. He's beaten Martin McIntosh 5-0, and we're back up and running in just a short moment.
Shootout Pool, sponsored by MyCaring.com.